It is the subject everyone's talking about at the moment, property. And I'm not talking about residential property. It's gone nuts. Let's see what's happening to the price of land, rural property. Our man in the field is PGG Wrightson, GM of real estate, Peter Newbold. And Peter, are you getting some of those townies buying farms?
Yeah, good afternoon, Jamie. Yeah, we're getting a lot of interest outside the traditional rural base, and especially if you start to look at those grazing finishing blocks around the sort of $1 to $2 million range. So there's a lot of demand there. People are looking at that, they're saying, well, I've got X amount in the bank. I could go and put that into a piece of land. I could then lease it to, say, a farmer and get 3 or 4% as an example. And potentially I've got some capital gains. So we're seeing a lot of growth in that sector.
What about the lifestyle sector? And we know that COVID made people rethink their strategies when it comes to living, perhaps in a COVID world. A lot of townies want a wee bit of space around them, and I can't blame them.
Yeah, no, well, that market has continued to on at the rate it was pre-Christmas. There's a lot of activity taking place there. The challenge is there's not a lot of new listings coming to the market. So that's something we just need to be aware of. And again, probably it's a good thing in some respects. But yeah, there's a lot of demand and a lot of people, I think, with their change of work habits and what's gone on with COVID, see a lifestyle property is a better option. And when you look at the values that are being achieved in the cities, lifestyle properties are, in my opinion, a good value.
Yeah, go and live the good life. The elephant in the room in recent years in the rural real estate market has been the dairy sector. But we're seeing increasing returns out there. Are we seeing increasing interest?
Yes, we are. And it's interesting if I look at some of those traditional markets, take Southland and the Waikato, there has been an increase in sales. And I think over the last 18 months, you've seen the prices sort of stabilise. And so we're starting to see units sell. In most cases, they're smaller size properties, but definitely there's a lift in that. And if you go to some of the larger ones, there is more interest at the moment. So I think we'll see that dairy piece just slowly build as the year moves on, which is a good thing.
Sheep and beef has been quite strong for the past couple of years, and there's an industry that's facing a few price challenges at the moment. Hopefully they're short-term, although I am worried about the long-term future of strong wool. But is that being reflected in the demand?
Yeah, there's good demand there, and I guess in recent weeks, with the weather and everything, everyone's in a pretty buoyant space. But I think the key thing I've noticed in the last few months is that we're seeing properties come to the market from those traditional reasons we had, 3 or 4 years ago, where people are thinking about succession or retirement or things like that. So we're still seeing properties come to the market, and there's still a lot of interest in them. And again, it probably comes back to the old thing, right place, quality property, and of a size that is economic. So, yeah, again, it's positive for the beef and sheep farmers, and again, it's going to move along steadily. And the other interesting piece at the moment is that a number of them, we normally have the 2 traditional seasons, coming into spring and autumn, but all those sort of periods are actually coming back. So we're going to see properties come to the market earlier, which is a good thing. Talk
to me about horticulture. It's a sector that I'm really interested in, and personally I'm even having a look at investing in it because I think it's a good long-term story.
Yeah, look, I think if you look at one of the key sectors at the moment, kiwi fruit, the challenge at the moment is just the high entry price, and then on the other side they're getting strong returns. So there's just not a lot of properties out there on the market. So that's the probably biggest issue there. If you go to wider horticulture, one of the key things there, as a lot of your listeners probably aren't aware, there's a huge amount of land use taking place at the moment. And a lot of that is going into horticulture. So what were traditional, say, dairy farms, for example, close to some of those cities are now going to go into horticulture. So that's a huge growth market, and it will continue on, and we know that's what the consumer wants.
Well, Peter Newbold from PGG Wrightson, thank you for the property market update. And remember, go to our website, thecountry.co.nz, and look at our PGG Wrightson Property of the Week. We'll catch you next month.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jamie, and have a good day.